Hello, me and the book. I will try to read. At last, I can read. And I need someone to be with me while I'm reading. So, I hope you stay with me. Can you see? Oops. No, but I'm a bit cold, so I need a jacket. And we are like opposite. But no, turn it this way. I choose this book to read tonight before I go to bed. I have another book here. Wait, I need a company to read my book. I, no, no. Oops. There you go. I see. Yeah. Yeah. Now, here's my book. Happiness is an inside job. Okay. Inside job daw ang happiness. Start with any greetings. Let's check if there is a greeting. Okay. Why I'm eating my hair? Okay. Happiness is a natural condition. I would like to begin with an assumption that I think you will want to examine carefully. You may want to disagree. In any case, in these pages, I am assuming that the natural condition of human being is to be happy. Tama. Something in me is sure that all of us were created to be happy. Agree. I believe that God made us to be happy in this world and forever in the next. And so, as I see it, this follows logically. If a person is chronically unhappy, there is something wrong. Something is missing. Obviously, it may not be the person's fault or choice. Still, I would maintain something is missing. Anyway, be patient with me as I try to explain my thinking in the pages that follows. Who wrote this book? Writer is John Howell, SJ. What do you mean by SJ? Is that a phrase? I don't know what SJ means. Never mind. I'll just read. The inborn desire, a history of frustration. I believe that every one of us experiences a stubborn, inborn desire to be happy. Unfortunately, all of us have at times experienced some frustrations of this desire. Our dreams of happiness have been disappointed. Yeah, yeah. I am sure that you can remember, as I do, building up an anticipation only to watch it fall apart. Apart. We dreamed, for example, that if only there was a bicycle under where? Under Christmas tree, life would be forever glorious. Then one Christmas morning, a shiny new bike did appear under the Christmas tree. We were ecstatic, but in the days that followed, the paint began to chip off. The fenders got dented, the axles started squeaking. The dream had slowly, almost painlessly died. But by this time, we had begun another dream anyway. One by one, they all seemed to have meteoric moments and then die. Our hopes for lasting happiness got lost somewhere along the way. Tama naman, di ba? We dream of many little things. Pag nandyan na, di nagtatagal, parang nagsawa na tayo. Kung yung mga dream natin ay mga maliliit na bagay, pag nakuha natin, gusto naman natin ng iba na dream. We keep on dreaming. Expectations and happiness. Of course, expectations have a lot to do with our happiness. It is one of those life lessons that is hardest to learn. To the extent that we think our happiness will come from outside things or even other persons. Our dreams are destined for death. The true formula is H equals IJ. Happiness is an inside job. Most of us are hopeless romantic. And sadly, romantic hope does not die easily. We continue to dream our unreal dreams. We glorify reality with technicolor expectations. We build castles in the sky. We keep thinking of life and happiness as a combination luck. Once we learn the right combination, we will have it made. But frustration will always overtake us as long as we put our happiness in the promise of things or in the hands of other humans. Oo nga naman. A few years ago, lawyers submitted the opinion that most divorces result from romanticizing expectation. Jack thinks that being married to Jill will be utter bliss. He calls her Angel and Sweetie. She is all he will ever need. He sings her the romantic lyrics of love song. Then shortly after the wedding bells have become an echo, the the trust, the truth sets in. There are unpleasant moods, weight gains, burnt dinners, hair curlers, occasional bad breath and body odors. He silently wonders how he ever got into this. He secretly thinks that she has deceived him. He had gambled his happiness on Angel's face and has apparently lost. Wala. Loko-loko din si Jack, ano? On the other side, before marriage, Jill's heart beats a little faster whenever she thinks of Jack. It will be such heaven to be married to him. Just Jackie and me, and baby make three in my blue heaven. Then there are cigarette ashes, his addiction to sports, events, and television, minor but painful insensitivities. Insensitivities. Clothes, clothes are left lying only in chronological order. Her knight in shining armor has turned out to be a one-man suit. The top of the toothpaste tube is missing. The doorknob he promised to fix still comes off in her hand. Jill cries a lot and starts looking up marriage counselors in the yellow pages. Jack carried her off gallantly into the sunset. From then on, it was all darkness. Ho, ho, ho. Nagsisi na sila agad. 50% of all marriage end in divorce. 65% of all second marriages end in the same traumatic sadness. This illusion always seems to follow when we expect someone or something else to make us happy. Oo nga naman. Such expectations are a parade that always gets rained on. The place called Camelot and the person called Right just don't exist. Eh, posible. The anticipations always seem ecstatic, but they are soon swallowed up in the darkness and disappointment of night. Our begins when we expect things and other people to assume responsibility for our happiness. I once saw a cartoon of a huge woman standing over her dimin- diminutive seated husband, demanding, "Make me happy." It was a cartoon. It was meant for laughter. It was distortion of reality. That's why it was funny. No one can make us truly happy or truly unhappy. The sad statistic. I am assuming that we are all capable of the habit of happiness. But the philosopher, to, paano basahin itong pangalan na to? Torre, Torre, Toru, Thoreau, Toru, Tori, Toriu. Ewan ko ba dyan? Ang hirap basahin. Toru, Toru thought that we have given up all hope of true lasting happiness. The contemporary evidence is overwhelming. It would seem that Toru is right. There are growing divorce rates. child and spouse abuse epidemic, increased incidence of chemical dependency on alcohol and other drugs. There is the explosion of teenage pregnancy. Gangs prowl our streets. Police patrol the corridors of our high-school prisons are bulging. International war clouds are always gathering. Many people think that all this explains our national unhappiness. Unhappiness everywhere. Even the air we breathe is certified as polluted. The rain that waters our crops is acid rain. The flood, the food, ba yan? Antok na ang aking eyes. The food we eat allegedly contains many cancer-causing agents. Sabi nga sa inyo, there is a nightmare of AIDS, AIDS virus, which is predicted to claim millions of lives. No one, it is said, can take in this full scene without some risk of depression. In other words, if you don't feel bad, you apparently haven't been paying attention. Or as Walter Cronkite once put it, it was think if you think if you think things seem to be going well, you had better have your television set repaired. Wait, it is not surprising that the World Health Organization has singled out depression as the world's most widespread disease. One third of all Americans wake up depressed every day. Professionals estimate that only 10 to 15% of Americans think of themselves as truly happy. The highest rate of suicide among professionals is that of psychiatrists. Apparently, not even psychiatry provides the right combination for the lack and secret of happiness. Consequently, there is much cynicism about happiness, since the search has been largely unsuccessful for most of us. Many have given up, so pop a pill, wander into a chemical haze, eat, drink, try to look merry. Life is a life is a struggle, someone has said, and then you die. Die you good? For many people, the promise and possibility of real happiness is only a cruel hoax. Cruel hoax. It is the mechanical carrot dangled in front of us to make us run faster and try harder. Ganun ba yun? If we try and try, we can be happy. If we are content in simple things, we can be happy. That's what I believe. Advertise happiness. For all the disillusion we have experienced with the outside, we never seem to look inside for what which we seek. Maybe Doug Hammarskjöld was right when he said that we are great at exploring outer space, but very poor at exploring inner space. Tomo. Perhaps we have been misled by the tidal wave of advertising that washes over us. We are assured that we will be happy if we buy and use certain products. Yung iba, ganun. We will look good, sound good, smell good. We will drive along the highway of life with a happy, reckless and these solicitations, these solicitations of the advertising media would have us believe that happiness is simply the multiplication of pleasures. So we have bought ourselves into debt, consumed of all the happiness making products, yet we continue to lead lives of quiet desperation. We haven't been able to cash in on the promotional promises of happiness. There is a story about a young woman selling perfume. Behind her was a large sign. This perfume is guaranteed to get you a man. Meron nga ba naman? It seems that a little old splinter lady approached the counter and cautiously asked the salesgirl, "Is it really guaranteed? Guaranteed to get a man?" The salesgirl is said to have replied, "If we were really guaranteed, do you think I would be standing here 8 hours a day selling this perfume?" Is it simply that our eyes for happiness are bigger than our digestive tract? Is it simply a case of unrealistic expectations? I, for one, don't think it is that simple. I think we are looking for happiness in all the wrong places. Kaya nga, we have pinned our hopes on our other people and on objects that simply cannot deliver. To remind myself, I have a sign in the mirror over my sink. It reads, "You are looking at the face of the person who is responsible for your happiness." Every day, I believe more and more in what that sign says. Tama! Kung gusto mo maging masaya, pasayahin mo ang sarili mo. Parent tapes. One of the reasons many of us confuse the source of happiness is our so-called parent tapes. These are the messages of those who influenced us as infants and children. We came into this world seeking answers, and the answers we got early in life were recorded on the memory machines in our head. All day long, and even when we sleep, these parent tapes are playing inside us. Kaya nga, one of the questions that human heart is always asking is this: what will make me happy? Most of the answers we received as children were not recited to us but were acted out for us. We learn by seeking, not by being told. We learn by seeing, not by being told verbally. We may have observed our parents worrying, so we learn to worry. We may have heard them arguing about money, so we concluded the money is essential to happiness. We may have sensed in their words, body language, and facial expressions an over-dependence on others. Others can make us happy, we concluded. We may have heard accusations like, "You make me so mad," and so we may have concluded that others can also make us mad. They apparently can make us happy or unhappy, mad or glad, secure or afraid. Or we have picked up the old bromide. If you got your health, you got everything. There was a time when I thought of myself as an independent thinker, but the older I get, the more I realize that, that these parent tapes are very much a part of me and my life. I have to review and revise constantly. The comparison and competition traps. One of the tapes that plays constantly in most of us is the comparison tape. From the time we were presented to the public, we have been compared to others. He looked like his father. She looks like her mother. The unusual points of comparison are looks, brain, behavior, and accomplishment. Of course, there were always others who were better looking, smarter, better behaved. and more accomplished than we are. Our parents and teachers may have held them up to us. Why can't you be like that? Why don't you do as well as your brother? If you comb your hair down, people would notice your big forehead. You look more presentable. And so, most of us have been taught to compare ourselves with others. And all the professionals agree. Comparison is the death of true self contentment. Hmm. Notice that comparison is the death of true contentment. Kaya nga, hindi tayo nakukontento kasi kinukumpara natin ang sarili natin sa iba. And I agree. Totoo yan. The competition trap is slightly different. In and out of the school, most of us have been pitted against others. And of course, others were pitted against us. We competed for grades, for athletic distinction, for popularity, for membership in the in groups. Unfortunately, the result of these early contests and competition have left lifelong scars in many of us. And yet, many of us go on competing. In later life, only the status symbols are changed. We still celebrate at the sights and sounds of splendor. Inside us, the green head of envy groans. Oh, if only I looked like that. If only I could think of all those clever things to say. If I had an estate like that. If I made that much money. But we don't even come close. And close only counts in the game of horseshoes. In competition, everyone loses. Nobody wins. My own my own experience and conclusion. My own life experience have involved me with people in various walks of life. Many others have shared with me their personal struggles and successes. Over the years of this human involvement, I have made my mental notes about the apparent roads to happiness. In addition to this professional involvement, there is my own personal search for happiness. Lahat naman tayo eh. There are clear memories of my own success and of my own failures. There are certain dead ends. They look attractive but lead nowhere. There are hills to be climbed one step at a time. There are traps into which we can easily fall. When I sort through all these memories, I can convince that happiness is within the reach of everyone. The only problem is that if we the only problem is that if we reach out, we are going in the wrong direction. Happiness is and has always been an inside job. One other important conclusion is this. Happiness is also a byproduct. Byproduct? What do you mean byproduct? It is the result of doing something else, like the elusive butterfly. Happiness cannot be directly pursued. All attempts to seek happiness directly are doomed. Almost everything else we can search for and acquire directly. Food, shelter, knowledge, not so with happiness. Happiness is attained by doing something else. Bagay, totoo nga. So what is this something else? After much reflection on my own experiences, I am convinced that this is something else can be condensed into 10 right paths or practices. I am assured that others might want to disagree or amend the list of 10 things, something else. I am proposing, please feel free, but these are the 10 things that I think a person must do to experience true happiness. The explanation of these 10 tasks will be the content of this book. These pages are my love offering to you. My hope is that you will take the book in gentle hands and read it with an open mind. Hmm, this is a very good introduction. Final word from the author. These avenues to human happiness are life tasks. They are not simple things that can be done once and for all time to come. It is not like putting so many canes. It is not like putting so many coins into a happiness dispensing machine. Then suddenly out comes the candy bar of happiness. That would be selling snake oil. That would be an impostor promising quick fix happiness. Life is a process, gradual growth process. We can accomplish our life tasks only gradually. The path to happiness is a bridge to be crossed, not a corner to be turned. Because happiness is a byproduct, the promise is this: the more we accomplish the 10 listed life tasks, the more we will attain a sense of personal peace and satisfaction. The more we look within ourselves and not to other things or persons for our happiness, the more we will experience a sense of meaning and direction to our life. Tama! Remember? Remember, it is not a question of all or none. It is rather a question of more and more. To live is to grow, and growth is always gradual. The Latin word beatus means happiness. A beatitude is a challenge and an accomplishment. It promises to confer indirectly through happiness upon the person who undertakes the challenge and gradually manage the accomplishment. These are my beatitudes. Hmm. Ang ganda, ang ganda, ang ganda. Okay, this one is the topic number one. Practice number one. We must accept ourselves as we are. Okay, this is task number one in order to attain happiness in life. And the first task is we must accept ourselves as we are. We tend to be bold on the things, including ideas. What? We, we tend to hold on to things, including ideas. We are reluctant to give up ideas like who I am. Yet, giving up some old ideas is essential to growing. I must learn how to let go of the static image of who I think I am. If I am to grow, I must get unbooked. Ano ba yan? Ang labo. I must get unhooked from my past. Ah, okay. If I am to grow, I must get unhooked from my past. I must come to realize that I am the one and only me, a person in process, always and forever, learning, changing, growing. The only important reality is who I am right now. I am not who I used to be. I am not yet who I will be. And above all, I must know this: I am who I am supposed to be, and I am fully equipped to do whatever it is I am supposed to be doing with my life. Ang ganda! I like it. I like what you're saying. Yes. Meron akong kakayahan. Meron akong kakayahan na gawin ang lahat ng dapat kong gawin sa buhay ko. I like that. This is a nice book, di ba? Nasa first practice pa lang at gusto ko itong practice na to kasi ang sabi niya dito sa practice number one, marami tayong pinanghahawakan, mga bagay-bagay na ayaw natin bitawan tungkol sa ating mga sarili. Sabi, kung gusto mong lumago, kung gusto mong mag-mature, dapat, dapat kalimutan natin ang nakaraan. Oo, iwan natin yung ibang bagay, 'di ba? Marami tayong pag-aaralan, babaguhin para tayo ay lumago at ang importante ay yung alam natin na kung sino tayo si ano ang gusto nating maging tayo, kung ano ang gusto mong marating, 'di ba? Kaya ang sabi nga niya, meron akong kakayahan. Ang bawat isa sa atin may tangking kakayahan para gawin ang lahat ng bagay na gusto namin gawin sa buhay natin. Yay! Ang ganda ng first thing na sinabi niya at mahaba-haba itong book na ito. Hanggang page 147 or 148 pa sa dulo. And I'm only at first. And I am going to sleep and I will read it again the next day. So we will put a mark and read it again next time. So I learned something to what I read na meron akong kakayahan na gawin kung ano ang gusto ko sa buhay ko. Kung ano ang gusto kong marating at lahat tayo ay may ganong kakayahan. Tama, di ba? So, hanggang dito na lang ang aking pagbabasa at bukas uli o sa susunod na mga araw na may pagkakataon na magbasa. And to end this, I say thank you sa aking mga bodyguard, sa aking putol, at sa aking kambal. Thank you for being with me while I read a book. Sinamahan niyo ko para hindi ako antukin. See you again next time. Bye-bye. Good night and good morning. Bye-bye.